Hey, it's me, Scott Talley, broker here at Five Market Realty, and it's June 2nd. I've got some numbers behind me that ran Monday, and a lot of our clients already got a video that kind of shared my screen where we went over what we saw, and this is one that we need to get up to where we can share it to people on social media and another way to get this information out. If you've seen any of our videos before here at Five Market Realty, one of the things we've always want to do is update you on what we're seeing in the market. And we've done this before we had COVID-19 because it was always pertinent information, but now it's definitely very important to kind of see what's changing now versus last year. So typically I might look at the numbers as a whole over the year, but what I decided to do for the month of May was just take a look solely at May. So we looked at May 2019, those 31 days, and then May 2020, those 31 days. So what we have here are the numbers comparing 2019 to 2020, and really they're quite interesting. So the first thing you're going to see in 2019, we had 316 total home sales, residential lots, anything that qualifies as residential. Now, this is a big number. This past May in 2020, we had 163. That is down a total of about 50%. Big change. But here's some good news. Our price in 2019 was $283. Now we're at $309. So this is the average sold price. It's up over 20 grand. The days on market is a little bit slower, from 57 down to 48. I would say that might be a little skewed. We have a lot of listings that are going into the MLS under contract. So it's probably a little closer to a true 50, 60 days. But this was probably the best number I saw. In fact, I actually checked it twice because it almost seemed unbelievable. These are the amount of houses that went under contract in the month of May in 2019. Last year, 174. That's a very active market last year. This May, 174 went under contract. So what does that mean? Those numbers at the top, you see that we're down 50%, and it seems like, doomsday. But then as you come on down our numbers, you see we're up on price, we're good on days on market, and we're spot on with last May as far as things going under contract. So an important thing to note is sales and activity that take place in May, which are represented here, are actually things that went under contract, be it March or April. So we went into this shelter in place around mid to late March. And as I've alluded to before, we saw a lot of people just kind of lock down and manage what was under contract. Certain properties didn't go to market. Certain buyers stepped out of the market. So we saw a big reduction. This lasted, I would say was about the middle of April, when it sort of felt like we could take a breath and realize the sun was going to keep coming up every day. So towards the end of April, we started to see a little bit of a release in the market, and then things started to tumble in. So that's really where we wound up with these units sold. But the important thing to note is our values are still up. We're in a low supply market, and we hope to see that change, because this number at 174 is representative of the fact that May looked a lot normal in activity versus last year. So a couple of things, to note. If you know Jeb Bradbury that works here at our company, he has a great saying we're all fond of, and that's that figures lie and liars figure, because you can always manipulate the numbers. But what we try to do here is we're looking straight at Athens, Clark, Oconee County. We're not pulling in Jackson County. We're not pulling in Barrow or areas where it might be a little skewed. We try to really pinpoint it and look very specific to the Athens market. So, trying to make these numbers be as representative of what we're seeing. So a 50% reduction in the overall activity, not a shocker. To me, what is the great news is the 174 under contract in May. So what we might see going forward, if things continue to progress like they are, we're going to kind of release. Hopefully we will see this V that they've been talking about. I don't know that it's going to be a true V. It might be a little bit more of a U, staggered, but we are seeing good signs. In our market, the higher end is probably going to have a little bit more impact based on just the amount of people that are able to afford a house that's over 500, 600, 700,000. Our lower end properties that are still, it's not as if $200,000 is not a lot of money. It is. But we have a low interest rate climate, and there's a lot of buyers for that. So 200, 300, 400, still very aggressive. If you had a property last year that was a good property but had a few had a few warts like it needed updates or something, probably still would have moved fast because there was a lot of buyers in the market. Since we're a little bit down, some of those properties are taking a little bit longer. They might have to be down slightly on price. But the good news is, overall, we're still up across the board on values, and hopefully seeing this get a little better. So one thing I do want to say is that we saw an article recently in the Banner Herald that talked about interviewed 3 of our colleagues that we respect and asked them what was going on. And the article sort of alluded to the fact that maybe there wasn't enough activity and the market never got going. And in one case, it even got one of our colleagues' name wrong. I would probably say I took offense to the article because I did not think it was a very accurate portrayal. It did talk about the fact of precautions we're taking, but we have over 1,000 realtors in the Athens Area Association of Realtors. If I were to pick 10 people that I select and told you, ask them how the market's doing, I could probably make sure that 10 people said, oh, it's slow, it's just dead out there. Then if I picked another 10 individuals, I can almost guarantee you those 10 individuals might say, I'm slammed, I'm overwhelmed, we have a lot of going on, we need more on the market. So, it's very important where you get your information from. That's what we're trying to be, as a source of information to you here at 5 Market, and let you know what's going on. And probably the biggest thing we're advising our clients right now, whether you're buying, selling, investing, even thinking about next year, reach out to somebody. Getting a plan in place has never been more important. It's always important to plan your real estate transactions, but right now, we really need to be on the front end to prevent any possible hurdles that could occur. So feel free to reach out to me here at 5 Market, any one of our agents, 5mrealty.com, and follow us on Facebook if you'd like to keep up with some of these updates we provide. Have a great week, good summer.